Jake.
Yeah, what's up?
Stop talking. Poncy has to go to band practice. All right. Is it on me? It's on me. Hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs Show. This is our NBA midseason prediction show. We're going to look at some future lines, some future bets, tell you what we like, tell you what we think. We're joined here by the boys in Florida. Sean and Jake are on the couch in the attic here. We've got Cam in Ohio. Cleveland had a great, probably the best night in Cleveland history last night. So Cam's pretty pumped about that. And we had, yeah, for that, yeah. We have two special guests, two NBA analysts on the call here with us today. Lowell Carr in Colby College, Maine, and we have Jack Poncy, Dallas, Texas, SMU.
I put the anal in analyst.
Yeah, there you go.
That definitely won't be cut out. Woo!
I'm Tommy. I will be steering the ship. Our first bet that we're going to be looking at today, regular season MVP, the award of all the awards. Right now, the odds-on favorite is Joel Embiid at plus 145. Joker is second, then Giannis, Steph, Ja, and DeMar DeRozan. So we'll go ahead and start with the boys in Florida. Sean and Jake, you guys can start us off here. Who do you think is going to win MVP and why?
So usually for MVP, if I were voting, if this was the Jake Lewis criteria, I would say you have to be a top 3 seed in your conference. Right now they are. Hopefully they keep that up with Harden coming in. They should continue to win. My guys just behind them are Ja Morant and DeMar DeRozan. I don't know why the Joker's so high. His team's like a 5 seed or a 6 seed. And Giannis, they're actually struggling right now. They're a 5 seed, and they just lost, and Embiid outplayed him. So Embiid's got his he's in the driver's seat. Hopefully he can stay healthy and give that city and that fan base their first MVP since 2001. That would be great.
I'm obviously going to be picking Embiid here. I'll get to that in a second. But Cam was shaking his head. So, Cam, do you have something else to say about that?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the value here, man. If you want to make some money, it's sitting right in front of you. Plus 1,200, Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
Recency bias, probably.
What'd you say?
I said it's recency bias from last night.
I guess you could. Not really, because that has no effect on MVP. But I guess.
Cam, do you know that this is his worst shooting season of his career?
That doesn't matter, Tommy. When you're the best shooter, you're gonna take hella shots. You have to take hella shots. Look at who's on his team. He doesn't. I guess you could say Clay just came back, but before Clay came back, he had Wiggins and Draymond, which are not
all-star starter.
Jordan Poole.
Ooh, Wiggins,
yeah. Wiggins legit.
You shouldn't have got that shit. There should have been many other people besides Wiggins.
Yeah, I'll jump in there. I mean, my reasoning for Embiid is that, I mean, at this point in his career, I think that if you look at who's below him, Jokic and then Giannis, those are both MVPs already in the past. NBA, I think at this point, like the voters who are on TV a lot, guys that you hear on TV, those guys have votes. It's like Stephen A. Smith said that right now he would vote for Embiid. And I think that just like what Sean said, if he stays healthy, it's his award to lose at this point. He averages the most points per game in the league as a center, which is insane. I think that this is his year, and I think that he's probably the most determined player in the league right now, I would say. Like, you guys saw the memes of him crying after we lost to the Raptors in the Kawhi shot. Like, he cares about this game dearly. And, like, you can clown him for that, but at the end of the day, like, he's putting the work in. And I think that at this point right now, unless he gets hurt, I think that it's his award. So that's what my take is. But what do the analysts think?
I'm going to jump in, and I think that there's a pretty big factor that we haven't talked about that might affect whether Joel Embiid continues out this MVP performance this season, and that is the introduction of James Harden in Brooklyn. What is that going to do? James Harden's a pick-and-roll player. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he runs away with the assists title this year, but Joel Embiid's a post-up guy. He's not a pick-and-roll player. How is that going to mesh? There's questions whether their play styles are going to mesh. For now, I agree with Tommy. I think also with Sean on the Joel Embiid is the front runner, and I think that's a pretty safe bet. But there's a reason I don't like guys like DeMar DeRozan. He's doing things he's doing things that
You're allowed to swear. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Michael Jordan hasn't even done. Like, he's going on streaks Michael Jordan didn't even go on with the Bulls. But again, injuries on the Bulls, like they might follow the top three, and I like Jake's criteria there. So I think Steph's still in the running for me. I think I have faith in Giannis and the Bucks down the stretch. So I think Giannis would be probably my second contender, and then Joel Embiid in front, and I'd probably put the Joker in fourth. But that would be my rankings, and that's kind of my hesitancy with will Joel Embiid, carry strong with how he's gone with a major addition to the team.
I think that they're going to give MVP to the person that is the best player in the league. That tends to be what happens. So I'm going to hedge my money that it's going to go to the best player in the league. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, Poncy, just so you know.
That makes sense.
Just so you know, Poncy, where I thought you were going to say Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is plus 1,600 right now, which is better odds than LeBron James. So just something.
I was looking at that earlier. I completely agree. They don't call him LeBum for no reason. It was cool seeing him and the GOAT talking last night. Him and the GOAT, the greatest basketball player ever. And
it was
LeBron
cool to see Mike talk to LeBron.
They had a nice moment. It was really cool to see.
With that, we'll go to the second bet of the show today. So we're going to start with who we think is going to win the Eastern Conference, who will represent the Eastern Conference in the finals this year. Right now, it's a tie for first with Brooklyn and Milwaukee at plus 270. Sixers are third at plus 380. Then we have the Heat at plus 500 and the Celtics at plus 1,100. So we'll start with Poncy, huge Miami Heat fan, obviously. Right now, the Heat are the first seed in the East, 2.5 games above the Sixers right now in third. The Bulls are second. So do you think the Heat will win the East? And if so, plus 500, great value. So
yes, enough fucking said.
Okay. Anybody else can jump in.
I'll go next. I think the Bucks are gonna win it outright. They got the most depth on that team. Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Giannis dropping fucking 50-piece nuggets. The Sixers, they got a chance, but Harden, I feel like Harden's gonna fuck it up. Harden's definitely.
I agree, Cam.
He's a selfish ass player, man.
Wrong.
Harden don't like the. You got the assist, but like Lowell said, they like.
It's just all about the stats.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all about the stats with Harden. It's all about the numbers. He wants to play ISO ball, and Embiid's not about that. The Sixers aren't about that. They got to move the rock to win. Brooklyn Nets, I don't even know how the fuck they are like tied with the Bucks. That shit is just.
Agreed.
I don't either.
I agree, Cam. Good point.
They got
the Nets are the 8th seed right now, so they're just assuming them to turn up.
No sense to me. But the Heat should be higher than the Nets. 76ers should be second. Bulls and Celtics are just out of this along with the Nets. Between the Bucks, Sixers, and Heat, and I think the Bucks are going to probably last longer. More shooters, more depth, more height.
All right, so I got to put in my 2 cents on this. I think if you guys, I don't know how much this goes against Vegas, but if you read ESPN's BPI or 538, their stats on where teams are going to go based on just all sorts of different numbers and efficiency plus minus, all that stuff that goes into it. There are 2 teams in the East that are in that top 5 in the league, and those are the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. In terms of basketball, these teams have both been hot. I mean, the Heat, backed by probably the best coach in the league, in my opinion, Eric Spoelstra. Boston Celtics are the hottest team in basketball right now, whether you like it or not. I mean, 9-1 the last 10, I think 13 of 14. Crazy stats. Marcus Smart went out, but I think based on these BPIs, all these other things showing, Celtics they're only on the up and up right now. Made a good deal, added Derek White. finding a shooter, and Hauser coming off the bench. We're coming together. So that's my take. But I'm with Cam on I think the Sixers' downfall in the playoffs. They're not a playoff team in the first place. Add James Harden to that. He doesn't have a very, there's nothing special about his playoff career. That's my take on them. The Nets, I don't think they're going to be built for the East. Bucks look good. The Heat look good. The Celtics look good. That's my take.
I'll jump in.
Marcus Smart-Tarded.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll jump in there. I mean, just for the viewers, Lowell is a Celtics fan, so just clear that up. The Celtics have no chance at this juncture. They are very hot right now, but they're only hot because they were ice cold before that. And I think the Celtics are what seed right now, Lowell? Do you know, 6?
Yeah, I think they're 6.
6? Yeah, I mean, definitely good value at plus 1,100 if you believe that they are going to continue to be hot. I agree that the Nets are way too high. That is them, Vegas buying into KD coming back after the All-Star break, and I guess just going on an insane
picked
run.
up Goran Dragic, recently.
Yeah, they picked up Goran Dragic, who was cut by the Raptors, who suck. So that says a lot about him.
He is not a bad player. You're not fun to do
he's not bad. He's not bad, but he's not the X factor that's going to change the game. If the Sixers and the Nets are going, by the way, I think it's going to be Sixers-Bucks Eastern Conference Finals, but if it were to be Sixers-Nets, I just don't think that Goran Dragic is going to be the difference maker in that series. You know what I mean? He'll probably have some good assists, but that's what it's going to be. Also, the Nets have no one that can guard Joel Embiid. That is the problem with them. I think that the Sixers are plus 380 here, insane value. The only other team that I would say that I'm worried about are the Bucks. And the Sixers just beat the Bucks last game before the All-Star break, and Embiid dropped 42 on Giannis. And that was without James Harden. So give us James Harden, and I think we're a better team, despite what Tony couldn't join us today, and Sean has just morphed into Tony, just Mr. Negativity when it comes to rooting for his own team. But, I mean, that had to be done. Someone had to fill that role. So I'm glad that you did, Sean. But we'll go to Jake here. Jake, who do you think is going to win the East?
I reserve the right to change my mind. Hopefully we have hopefully right before the playoffs start, we can have our actual picks, because I would like to see Embiid and Harden play together for at least a few games. But if you put a gun to my head and made me pick a team, I would pick them, because I am also a diehard Heat fan. But if we play the Bucks or the Sixers, either of those teams have the best player in the series, and unfortunately it's not really that close. Now, we have the coaching edge and the depth, which is why I think the Heat are the 4th best odds, which is tremendous value when we're currently the number 1 seed. But I think James Harden has just quit on 2 teams in a row. As Tommy says, Embiid is really, really all in, invested. And I like their pieces. Hopefully Tyrese isn't taken away by James Harden. Hopefully he can also contribute. I think Harden, even though you're negative about him, I think that he's going to share the ball. And he knows that he's not the best player.
Doc's going to make him.
Well, Doc's got some pressure on him this year.
No, he doesn't.
He just lost to Trae Young last year. I understand that Ben Simmons got all the blame.
First year.
Well, listen, Doc needs to quit blowing leads in the playoffs.
Doc's had pressure on him since he was coaching the Clippers.
Jake's not wrong. Doc is notorious for blowing leads.
Doc needs to make this fucking work, and I think he will, and I think they're going to win the East.
Exactly.
I think they will. They will.
He should have won some games, bro.
Sean, have you gone yet?
No, I'm waiting.
Go ahead.
Go for it, buddy. Floor is yours.
What I will say is that I think the Harden and Embiid combo is going to take some time to mesh. And with that in mind, I don't think we're going to win the East. Given I don't really know if I'd want to win the East, because we'd have all the pressure like we did last year, and then we, like you said, blow it to the Hawks. So I mean, coming in as a 3 or a 4 seed, I really wouldn't be scared about it.
No. He says win the East, but I mean who's gonna be in the finals coming out.
Not the number
top
1
record. Yeah, top record. Who cares? Who's gonna make the finals?
Okay, well then the Sixers. I thought I thought you were saying like end of the.
There we go, baby. Mr. Negative is still picking them. I
I
love
thought
it.
you said like end of the regular season. Who you got like seeding for the play?
No, like who's going to be in the finals from the East?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll take some time to mesh in the regular season, but come playoff time, I think Harden and Embiid combo, I just don't see how we can blow it again.
All right.
You don't see how.
Well, I know how we don't. We don't have Ben Simmons anymore. That's the difference. Like Lowell said that we're not a playoff team, but Ben Simmons is not a playoff player. That's why we want a playoff team. He's no longer on our team now. Now the Nets aren't a playoff team. We have Joel Embiid, who is best player in basketball. I'd like our chances. But with that, we'll go to the West. Right now, the West
really quickly.
Oh, yeah,
I just want to say that I really hope that the Miami Heat play the Bucks in the playoffs at some
I do too. I do too.
Because I want us to get our revenge. We beat them in the bubble, embarrassed them. Then they embarrassed us last year. I really hope that we can play them this year, expose Giannis for the fraud he is, and let Jimmy Buckets rest his nutsack upon his face.
Okay.
And I think we've got a team that could take out the Bucks. I think they're deeper than the Bucks. Sorry, Cam, but like Jimmy Buckets, Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo fucking blocking Giannis in the bubble, still living that, still a little erect from that. But I really think that I really hope that we play up just to fucking, there's one guy I know who's a Bucks fan that I know here, and he was like talking shit last year. I really just can't wait to go up to him, take his fucking lunch money. And yeah, I hope we play the Bucks. Long story short.
All right. I just realized the Shrek video behind you too. All right. So the West right now, the odds-on favorite is the Golden State Warriors, tied with the Phoenix Suns at plus 170. And then we have the Jazz at plus 550 and the Nuggets at plus 1700. So right now, the Suns are in first place and they are on a 7-game winning streak and they're 6.5 games ahead of the Warriors. So the fact that they're tied right now for best odds is, I guess, due to the fact that Chris Paul, news came out yesterday that he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken wrist, even though he still played a little bit in the game last night, which is crazy. And because of that, I'll just go first for this one. I think that the Suns are the play here. I know that Chris Paul being out is big and they don't have anyone that can step in and be Chris Paul's replacement, but they're a really well-coached team. Their coach was the all-star coach along with Spoelstra. I think that they have a really young, just group that's really bought in and showed last year they were able to get to the finals. No one thought they would go that far. I think that they'll go back again this year. I think Chris Paul is going to be back in time for the playoffs. And I don't know. The West is wide open this year. The Lakers kind of suck. And I just cannot put money on teams like Utah or Memphis just because I just don't believe in them. And at the end of the day, I think Chris Paul is still hungry to get a ring. And I don't know if he will because they play the Sixers, then you know who I'm taking there. But I think that they'll get to the finals. So that's my pick.
Yeah, I like that pick, Donnie. I think the Suns are probably the clear favorites coming out of the West. I think obviously with the Warriors are 6.5 games behind, I wouldn't count out a team like Memphis in my opinion just yet. Just imagine some sort of conference semis or whatever. Steph versus Ja Morant. I think that's going to be a good game, and Ja plays with a lot of heart. He's a dog. And that's why the Grizzlies are good. They're the 3rd seed, so they're only right behind these two. But in terms of the Warriors, Suns race, without Chris Paul, I still have faith in Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, the rest of those. They have some really good role players. They're coached well. I think the Suns are a lot coming out of the West.
I'm going to take the Warriors. Curtin's already doing good. Had the Warriors sitting pretty high in the standings by himself at that. So I feel like once he gets his team together, he already got Clay back. Once Clay gets back to actually being Clay and spraying down, and Wiseman comes back, he's doing all this without Wiseman. And then Jonathan Kuminga, he's coming into his own form as well. And Draymond Green is hurt. He has all these players hurt, but yeah, he still somehow beats the best teams. Lets them know that the Warriors are basically, I honestly think they're the best team in the conference. Even if Chris Paul comes back, I still think the Warriors are the best team in the conference. You just can't there's no team on here that can outscore them, honestly.
And then Steph shoots like 2 for 17 one night, and they get blown out by 30
That
points
doesn't
by
matter.
some
Here's the thing.
a nugget or something.
No. Here's the thing. Like, you have to account that there's other people on the team that shoot. Like, Steph can go 2 for 17 because at some point, either Jordan Poole or fucking like somebody's gonna hit the three. Somebody's gonna be on that game. Somebody's gonna be shooting. It's gonna be like you got Jordan Poole, Clay, and all Wiggins. Sometimes, even though he's not an all-star, Wiggins sometimes pops up unless that shit pop. So somebody's gonna hit the tray ball. Somebody got to shoot it. It's gonna happen. So
Cam, if those teams played each other in the playoffs, do you think the Warriors would win?
who? Warriors and who?
Suns.
Definitely, yeah.
So what?
Especially-
Basically, the teams are essentially the same as last year. Like, except the Warriors have Clay now, but they're still 6.5 games back. So I mean, like, what's the difference?
Well, I mean, first off, Chris Paul coming back like hurt off a fucked up hand. That's a
He
very
played last night though. Like, it didn't look like it hurt that bad. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna play the day that the news comes out, like, then you can't be that badly hurt. So
I guess, but it's an injury. Like, you're not just gonna come back from an injury and just be top tier. Like, that's just not. You have to, like, you know how that works. That's how that works. Like, you don't just come back and be like game ready unless you're playing. And 6 to 8 weeks is a long ass time to be missing out and then just come back straight to the floor. Especially versus Curry.
I mean, you're right, but I think at the same time, like, Chris Paul's like 40, so he probably could use 6 to 8 weeks not playing.
He's 36.
Yeah.
Have some respect on his fucking age.
What's up, Sixer?
Sixer is also picking the Sixers to make the finals, by the way. God damn.
Do you guys want to go for the West?
Sean, you want to go for the West?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really following the West too much, but 6.5 games. I mean, if the Suns blow that, they don't deserve to be the 1 seed, so I'm gonna stick with them.
No, this is to make the finals, not be the first seed.
Fuck. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Who do you think's gonna make the finals out of the West, Sean?
Sean's in love, bro. You're not thinking.
Yeah, this girl's clouding your judgment, Sean.
He's just distracted because his Labrador is over there just tearing a fucking chew toy to shreds.
Honestly, I'd go with the Grizzlies.
No,
really?
Yeah.
Are you
great value there?
Wow. Sean's got balls. I like it.
Plus 3,000 for the Grizzlies to win the East or the Western Conference. So, Jake.
I love the Grizzlies. I love John Moran. He's one of my favorite players. I think they're a year or two or a piece or two away. They need one, either more maturity, more like just hopefully they make like the conference semifinals, lose. However, it's a learning process. They could be back next year. Part of me wants to do something really crazy.
What's that?
Part of me wants to
I think I know where you're going with this, Jake, and I almost did it too.
Oh no, I doubt that you're with this.
Oh, well then maybe not then.
If the Lakers are the 8th seed and they play the Suns, I will pick the Lakers to beat them. I'm dead serious. I think if you just get that motherfucker in the playoffs and have him healthy, and Anthony Davis has at least one limb that works. That's just the one guy you don't want to bet against. But I agree with Cam here. If you put a gun to my head, I got to take Golden State. Steph Curry's having the worst shooting year of his career. And about 20 hours ago, he just hit 16 3-pointers in a game.
True.
So
very true.
They're ramping Klay Thompson's minutes up. They're kind of keeping Draymond out so he can come back at the end of March, beginning of April, guns blazing, ready to go. I think it's Golden State's conference. But if the Lakers can sneak in and are an 8 seed or a 7 seed, I might pick them to get an upset in the first round just because I don't like betting against number 6. I don't like doing that. But give me Golden State.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jake. Poncy, did you go for the West?
No, I'm actually going to go with the Jazz. Okay. Just kidding. That's for people who have fetal alcohol syndrome. I really think that the Warriors are a good team, but I am going to have to go with the Suns. They just like Chris Paul. Obviously, it's not Cliff Paul. It's not that same like drive or safeness of Cliff Paul, but I think that he's still a good player. And I think that they're going to come back with a vengeance. They're hungry after losing last year. It's sad that the Heat are going to have to take those dreams away from that old man again.
Yep.
I think, yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Suns. DeAndre Ayton also is just like a paint beast. I cannot wait for fucking Bam Adebayo to just put his nuts on his forehead too.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, we will go to who will win the NBA Finals outright 2022 NBA champion. Right now, the favorite is Golden State Warriors, also tied with the Suns at plus 410. Then Brooklyn at plus 600, Milwaukee at plus 650, Sixers at 750, and Heat at plus 1,000. So anybody can go ahead and jump in for this one. Who will win the NBA Finals this year?
I'm going to tell you right now how you can win $1,000 is
Okay.
you fucking bet the Heat. That is how you do it, because I don't understand how gambling numbers work, but like that is sick. We are going to come in and just fucking dominate. Kyle Lowry is just going to have himself a fucking 7-game series right there.
Yep.
And it's going to be one to remember, folks. And Jimmy Buckets might have to like just make the fucking paint his canvas and canvas his paint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I follow you. Yeah.
There's not a single person in this Zoom who fucking knows what you're saying, but I hope you're right.
Heat, baby.
I hope the Heat win, baby.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to ignore the fact that I hate the Miami Heat. I do. I really do. And everybody likes to talk about how
Heat hate you too, you fucking scumbag.
The Heat don't have real fans, so I'll take that one. I think that the Heat are probably going to lose first round just like they did last year, just like I said they would last year, even after they were in the finals the year before that. And I told Poncy that, and he knows it. I think that my pick here, probably pretty hard to guess at this point. I think the Sixers are going to win the finals, and there's a variety of reasons to go into that. A, being Joel Embiid, who, if healthy, will be MVP and is the most dominant player in the league at this moment. James Harden is 32 years old with no rings. He had his name mentioned with the 74 greatest NBA players of all time last night, and he has no rings. I know there are guys up there that don't have any rings too, but you can't tell me that that's not going to motivate him. And there's one factor that people are overlooking. Brooklyn does not have strip clubs. Philly has strip clubs. They are open in Philly. COVID is not as strict. He is going to be more content in Philadelphia than he was in Brooklyn. Everybody's like, he quit on Brooklyn. Brooklyn didn't give him what he wanted. Philly is giving him what he wants, and that is at strip clubs, first of all, but second of all, being a guy that can facilitate to the most dominant player in the league. Tobias Harris being the third option, giving you 15 to 20 a game, averages 18 a game. And in my opinion, the best defender in the NBA is on our team, Midseason. If he played starter minutes, he would be in the league, or he would be in the running for defense player of the league. And Tyrese Maxey, as Jake said before, is so exciting, and I think it's going to be all-star within the next couple of years. I just think that we have the team. I think this year is kind of just a crazy year with everything going on in Brooklyn. Everybody thought they were going to win and that the Lakers were going to be insane, and both of them are underperforming, so it's wide open. Teams that people thought were going to suck, like Cleveland, are really good. Memphis is really good. So I think it's just going to be a wide open year, similar to the NFL this year, and I like the Sixers' chances. So anybody else can go. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
I'm going to stick with you there.
All right. Tell me why I'm right.
Argument.
So you didn't like them trading for Harden, but you still think they're going to win the finals?
I didn't like that we gave them to a division member.
Okay.
And that we're going to have to play them in the playoffs. And if somehow it backfires, we're going to be fucking the laughing stock of the year.
That'll be embarrassing. Yeah.
I genuinely hope that we play Brooklyn in the playoffs because we know who they have at point guard, and he is not a threat. So, and if the series...
Hardon is a good player. The Hardon, he likes his strippers. The Hardon is a good player. I will not deny that, but I think that the Heat getting out in the first round is a little pessimistic. I think that Hardon having that much of an effect on your guys' playoff abilities is a little too optimistic. I wish you guys the best. I actually don't hate the Sixers. I do tend to like them from here and there, but hey, it's really just how Hard On wants to play. And if it's just those strippers that do it, then hey, let Hard On get his heart on.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Exactly.
he gets his heart in for his heart on.
Exactly.
As a part-time Heat fan, I agree with Poncy.
That's how all Heat fans are, by the way.
As a part-time Heat fan, I feel like this optimism late in the season is not something that is championship worthy.
It's not optimism late in the season. First of all, we're literally halfway through the season, just had the All-Star break. Second of all, I thought that we were going to win the finals for the past 10 years, so it's nothing.
No,
new.
you were wrong for the past 10 years.
True. Now we have
You
James
thought
Harden.
you were gonna win it the Jaleel Okafor year when you won like 10 games? Yeah.
No, but that was building.
You
for
were
this
the
moment.
the fucking president of the team didn't even think you guys were gonna do anything that year. My goodness.
All of that was to get to this moment. But go ahead, Cam.
Y'all were a team. We can't hate y'all. Like, there's no reason for us to hate y'all. Y'all been through enough. Y'all just terrible season after season after season. Even when y'all are good, y'all still have terrible seasons. The Kawhi jump, that was a terrible. You hate to see shit like that.
You do.
I think the Bucks are clear-cut winners for this year. They got y'all beat in the matchups. They really do got y'all beat in the matchups. Chris Middleton on James. What can you do about that? I feel like that's a good defender. And then Giannis on Embiid, obviously. And
We literally just played them the game before the All-Star break without Harden and won. So.
And you also played against the Celtics without Harden and got smoked by fucking 48.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. You're right about
I
that.
can't wait till Lowell picks the Celtics here. This is gonna be
You're
great.
right about that, Cam. You're right about that. But I was just saying that because you just said we don't have the matchups, and we literally just beat them without James Harden. So that's not true.
I'm just saying, when it comes to the playoffs, we know you know what's gonna happen. And
we don't, though, because we never had a team that didn't have Ben Simmons. You know what I mean? Like, with the Sixers aren't who the Sixers have been the past couple of years. Like, everybody clown Ben Simmons, rightfully so. And now I'm excited because I get to be a part of that, and I don't have to defend him like I've been doing for the past 5 years. So I honestly hope that we play the Nets, like, because he'll freak the fuck out. And I'm not saying that I want that to happen for him. Like, I'm not just trying to like be a hater, but I mean, I've watched it for the last 5 years. I've seen the story. So if we play him, I'm not worried about it.
All right, I'm gonna give my my take on who's gonna come out of the NBA. I've done a bunch of thinking while everyone else was talking, and I know unrealistically, the Celtics are gonna break my heart in the first round of the NBA playoffs. That's a full disclosure. You can I'll take back a lot of the words I said earlier. It's kind of more out of the passion. I'm a huge Celtics fan. Obviously, that's not even in this conversation in the first place, but every year there's this relationship between who the MVP is, the NBA MVP, and who the champion is, and who the NBA champion is. And it's more times than not someone who is the MVP is on a team that's not going to be at the top of their conference. And I think the Suns have an easier schedule to the end of the season than the Warriors do, but they're without Chris Paul. I mean, Chris Paul is like an integral piece to the Suns' offense and how their offense works, how it's productive. It's one of the best offenses in the league, and they're one of the most efficient teams in the league. But I think you give Chris Paul 8 weeks to be reevaluated. That's not in 8 weeks he's back on the court at full 100% Chris Paul. He needs to be reevaluated in 8 weeks.
True.
Watch, like Jake said, watch a bet the most efficient offense, Timberwolves, or a hungry LeBron 8 seed. One of them knocked. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Suns go out in the first round. If that's what, and if Golden State can hang on to number 2 and they play some bum ass team like the Clippers, or I think the slowing down Nuggets, I don't know, the Mavericks would definitely give them a run for their money, but I think, and any team out of the West, it's a gritty top 8. But I think if Golden State finds their way out of there, I would have the Golden State Warriors winning the NBA championship this year. The East is tough. I mean, it's a Joel Embiid, James Harden thing. That doesn't give me enough confidence to put the Sixers in there and say that they're winners yet. The Nets, you guys have covered that. I think the Cavs are a dark horse in the East for sure. I could see them going to the conference finals. They're a good team, but out of all of them, and the Bucks are like, I like Cam's sake on the Bucks. They have Giannis. They have that guy. They have the MVP. They weren't the top team, but he was the MVP last year, and he was that guy. He's been there. So I think if he plays well, they get to be the top of the East. But I'm going to take the Warriors realistically.
Yeah, I mean, like, but I think with the Warriors, if it was a Warriors Sixers finals, they don't have a guy that can guard Embiid. Like, not even.
But I'm going to stop you there because you said it 90 times. You said it to me a million times last year.
know.
Does any team in the league have a player who can guard Joel Embiid?
Well, there are teams that are going to
No.
have to.
Stop stuttering. The answer is no.
I'm
And
telling
the
you-
Hawks beat you with fucking Clint Capella playing
No.
center.
All
So
right,
kiss my ass because I
Okay.
agree with Lowell. I reserve
All
the
right.
right to change my mind. I'm picking Golden State to win the finals at this point. Thank you.
Okay.
Now you can go yell at me and tell me Embiid.
Nah,
is-
hey,
for
you
God's
know
sake.
what? If you want to take advice from the guy who picked the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl, you go ahead and do that.
I never
I'm just
did.
gonna.
That's false. That's a false statement. I never
That's
picked
true.
them to
That's
win.
that's not. You can watch our show.
Hey, you
That is
picked
what he
Chiefs
said.
Bucks. How'd that go? How'd that go?
It was closer.
Oh, by the way, you want to talk about the Super Bowl? I won $1,600. This motherfucker said the coin toss is going to be tails. It wasn't.
I was with you
You
on
look
that.
at me like
Sean was
I'm
against.
crazy.
I told you. Are you talking about Sean or me? Because I told you head.
No, Sean said tails, and we had a very heated discussion
Oh,
last
okay.
week about it.
Yeah, no. I mean, you did make a lot of money, but at the end of the day, you did think the Cowboys were going to be there in the first place. But
I did.
I am going to just say now that the Hawks did beat us, but Ben Simmons is really the team that beat us in that series. There is no guy that can guard Joel Embiid one-on-one. That's why every team has to double team him. And guess who now we have to kick it out on the perimeter? Fucking James Harden, one of the top 75 players ever. So that's what I have to say about that. If it's Sixers Warriors, though, James Wiseman cannot guard Joel Embiid. James Wiseman is like 2 months older than me. He cannot guard
I
Joel
think
Embiid.
Tyrese Maxey is going to run around after Steph Curry doing this.
Literally, like you can say that
and
about.
blowing kisses to Aisha as he trots up the court, hanging 40 on your fucking face.
Look,
I'm just asking questions.
Look, I get that Steph had a great game in a game that no one plays defense in and no one really cares about. So that's cool. He made a lot of shots.
Regular season games.
This is his worst shooting year of his career. I get that in a game that no one plays defense, he popped off. That's great. And Steph is one of the best players of all time. I'm not going to try to say that he's not, obviously. But Tyrese Maxey will not run out of gas. He is insanely athletic, insanely fast, insanely quick. So I'm not saying he can guard Steph Curry, but he can run around with him all night. So I don't know. That'll be a great series if that's what it ends up being. But Poncy, who's going to win the finals?
I already said it's the Miami.
Oh, yeah,
Heat.
you said the Heat.
You want to
All
win
right, yeah,
$1,000. $1,000. Miami
true.
Heat, baby, right fucking now. Kyle
Wait, are
Lowry.
you telling me to put $1,000 on the Heat or put a number that will give me $1,000?
They're plus 1,000, so 100 wins 1,000 right now.
Oh,
Then put
okay.
$100 down. I don't understand how the gambling stuff works. I just get my money through my bitches. My bottom bitch. Kyle Lowry is like my bottom bitch. It's great.
All right. Thank you, everybody,
Why
for
have we
watching.
not had him on earlier? God damn it. This is the
Thank
best
you.
show ever.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Enjoy some NBA basketball. Thank you for our NBA analysts for joining us, Lowell and Poncy. You guys were great. Come back anytime. So
Anytime,
thank you.
sugar.
Yes, sir. All
Thanks
right.
for having us, Tommy.
Yep. Kim, Jake, Sean, thank you guys again. And like and subscribe.
Bang.